welcome back. I'm starting another series on church strategy, and today we're going to talk about the side door. Now, what does that mean? Now, a lot of people, they want visitors to come out to their church, and one of the main things they focus on, and this is a great idea, is to get them to the Sunday service. And we usually call that the front door. The front door is the Sunday service. They're coming in. It's like a 90-minute service. You got everything going on there. But sometimes we don't think about that the front door is hard to come into because it's not normal for some people to come to a church, especially if it's large, especially when they don't know anyone. It's more challenging to get them into the front door. I'm not saying you should stop doing that. It's a great idea. It's a great strategy. Keep on thinking about how to get people to come out to the service. But one of the ways to get them to the front door is to get them through the side door. Now, there's many side doors to the church, and side door means coming to the church, but not to the Sunday service, but getting them to the church through other ways, other ministries. Maybe it's like a hiking group, or maybe it's through some sort of special event that you're doing, a special event. Those are side doors. And then hopefully when we get them to the side door, they will eventually come to the Sunday service, the front door. So that's what I mean when I say getting people to the side door is one of the best ways to grow your church and to get them to the Sunday service. And one of the best side doors. It's something that I've heard so many times at my last church when I asked people, hey, how did you come to check out our church? Or how did you land at our church? They always said, oh, I first joined a small group. Or I came out to my small group first, and then through the small group, I came out to the Sunday service. The small group is one of the best side doors to get visitors to come to your church and eventually get to the front door. And the reason why small group is easier to attend, easier to visit, is because it's a small group. Usually a small group is like anywhere from like 6, 8, or maybe 12 people. And for visitors, that's easier to come check out. It's a small group of people. And usually you're going to a small group. It's like people your age, it's in your same life stage, and a friend in that group probably invited that person, hey, why don't you come check out my small group? And that's much, much easier for the person to kind of get their mind around, oh, I'll go to a small group. That's easier than going to a Sunday service of like 100. Some of your churches are larger than like 500 people, where I don't know anyone. And I had to kind of like search through the crowd to find out where my friend is. So the small group is one of the greatest ways to get people to come check out your Sunday service. What usually happens is they come to the small group, they get to know 6, 8, 10 people, and they get comfortable with these 10 people or 12 people. And so after they get comfortable with the small group, guess what happens? All those people, they're building a relationship with this person. And hopefully at some point, they'll be like, hey, why don't you come check out our Sunday service? Or, hey, why don't you come check out our service on Sunday? And they're like, oh yeah, you know what? It's easier for this person to come to the Sunday service now, because now they know like 6, 7, 8, 9 people, and they could sit with, and they have familiar faces that they could find. And it's much, much easier now to join a larger group. So we're starting a new series now talking about small group strategy. I'm going to give you some ideas here on how to develop a really good small group ministry. It's one of the main ministries that I was overseeing and leading at my last church. At one point, we had over 300 small groups. Don't be too impressed with that number, because that number quickly dropped to like 250 and then less than 200 after COVID. So just because you hear these big numbers, these big measurements from YouTube videos or other people you know, just remember numbers, they go up and down. And remember, not every church is the same. And also remember, just because you have a large church, it doesn't mean that everything is going well. It doesn't even mean it's really healthy. Not saying that every large church is unhealthy. Please don't misinterpret me. I'm just saying, don't be impressed by numbers. And it's just a number. So just So here's the first idea I'm going to share with you today. And then in every other video after this, I'm going to share more ideas with you. So number one, how to develop a really good small group ministry. What's a small group strategy we could start working on right now? Around 2 or 3 times a year, you should have a big small group push. meaning if you're not in a small group, let's get you into a group. Now, I'm recording this video right now before Easter, and so post-Easter, Easter time, this is an excellent time to get people into small groups. Usually when you think about the whole year, I would say right around Easter time, about 2 weeks after Easter, and then right around the fall, I would say like mid to late September, maybe the first week of October, right around that time, that's another really good idea for a small group push. Why? Because that's when the school year starts for a lot of families. And so in their mind, even though the new year begins in January, there's actually a second new year beginning, which is the school year. So a lot of family life and a lot of scheduling revolves around actually the school year. So September in some families' minds is kind of like the beginning of something new. So they might be thinking like, this is a good time to maybe join a small group. You're kind of riding that wave of what they're thinking about mentally. They're thinking about the new year. So you also want to get them thinking about joining a new small group, joining something new. And then maybe another time to really do a good small group push is right around the end of January, maybe the first week of February. And the reason why I say maybe is because now you're getting close to Easter. So you don't want to start a small group push or do a big small group push like right before Easter, because now that kind of digs into Easter time and planning and all that stuff, depending on your church. You don't want to interrupt that time. So right around the end of January, I think is a good time. Now, the reason why you don't want to do it during Christmas time is because Christmas time is a very festive time. A lot of stuff is happening. A lot of people are planning vacations. So they probably are not thinking about small group. They probably can't really be part of like a small group push as we dig into this idea here right now. And also, it's the end of the semester or the quarter for their kids if they're in school. And so when winter break is there, that's a pretty busy time for a lot of families. They go on vacations. A lot of students are coming back from school. Maybe if they're in college, so they're coming back. So it's not really a good time to do a small group push. So I would wait till maybe the end of January because there's like a post-Christmas kind of recovery. Again, this is vacation time. This is winter break. Students kind of just got back into school in January. So you really want to let that settle in for younger families and get them going into the cycle again. Maybe week 3, week 4 of January is a good time for another small group push. But again, your church is different. Your location is different. Your culture, your city life is different. So figure out the best time to do it. I'm in Southern California. So one of the months typically to avoid here for us in this location is July. July is actually a bad month because July usually is vacation time. Usually everyone's gone. Everyone's gone to Disneyland or they're going off out of state, a lot of international trips. So July is kind of like a dead month. It's a month that you don't want to really push for new things because no one's really around. Even June is tough because, again, for young families, students are graduating, school is ending. And again, right when school's over, a lot of families kind of take off. They like to go on vacation. So trying to start a small group push and having people commit to a couple of weeks is difficult in the midst of graduations and school ending. So June and July is kind of hard. August is actually a little bit tough too because it's still kind of vacation time. Also, school starts to pick up again. A year-round school, I think they start maybe like early August here in Southern California, but there's a lot of other schools that start like mid to late August, even if you're not in year-round school. So again, your city, your culture is different. Just keep those things in mind. Now, when you do these pushes for small groups, you want to try to meet for like 4, 5, 6 weeks. 2 weeks kind of is very, very short. There's not enough time to kind of get to know people. The whole point of meeting for 4, 5, 6 weeks is because you're really trying to get the people to build relationships, get comfortable. And that takes time. And I feel like you can't really do that in 2 or even 3 weeks. So do about 4, 5, 6 weeks. Doing it longer than 6 weeks gets a little bit challenging. I know a lot of churches do that, but the reason why longer than 6 weeks is a little bit challenging is because for people, again, they got other stuff going on. It's not just work. They got kids. Their kids are in sports. Maybe, scheduling something out for like 8, 9 weeks gets a little bit daunting for them. It's a little bit challenging for them to really commit for that long. But again, if it works for you, go for it. This is just a suggestion, 4 to 6 weeks. And what you want to do for these 4 to 6 weeks is have them meet at your church. So you're going to provide the space, you're going to provide the meal, and of course, you're going to provide the study. Make it as easy for them as possible to meet. Provide the meal for them. Let them be comfortable with the idea of sharing a meal together and give them an example, a template of what you might want to do when you get together as a small group. Provide the space. These people, they don't know each other. So opening up a home is going to be very, very difficult for a lot of people. So make it easier for them. Hey, just come out to church. We're going to meet here for about 4, 5, 6 weeks, get you guys comfortable. And then, of course, provide the study. And when you choose a study, do something very basic. I would not get into something really, really deep theologically. Now, some of your churches, you might have that style and it might work for you. Maybe you're at a church where it's a very academic driven church. And so they really enjoy kind of digging into the deep theological topics and truths. That's fine. But I feel like for a lot of churches, the study, if it's too deep, too theological, it's going to be a little bit too much for them. So make it easy. And what I mean by easy is do something that doesn't require a person who's read the Bible a lot or who knows a lot to understand. Do a study that really helps them engage in discussion. This is the time where you want them to get to know each other. So do a study that's easy for them to talk about, not fight about, not debate about, but do a study that's a little bit more basic. So whether that requires you to think of discussion questions, if you're making up your own study, or if you're going to choose a study, make sure it has some good discussion questions that they could talk about while eating the meal or even after the meal. Set up different tables for different life stages. I'm a big fan of really trying to get a small group together where it's a similar life stage. Some people really enjoy being a small group where you got people from like boomers all the way to like college students. And, I think that works for some people. In my experience, for a small group to last and to keep on going, because you really want a small group to be together and just kind of grow together in the church, being in the same life stage, I think is the best way to do that. Also, when you have a mixed group of like, let's say, empty nesters, like they've been married for like 30 years and their kids are all off, and maybe their kids are even married. And then you got like young adults, maybe they're like 25, single, they're working. The types of dynamics of life, what you experience, what you enjoy, what you might even struggle with, they're very, very different. And so when you're in a small group, you really want to be in a group where you can share and talk about your life. And of course, you want people to kind of speak wisdom into your life. I'm not saying that an older figure or a younger figure can't do that. However, it's much easier to have that discussion when you're in the same life stage of another person who might be experiencing the same thing that you are. So I think splitting the groups up by life stage, you could have like 20s working adults, 30s working adults, maybe even 20s, 30s working adults. You could have like married couples, no kids, married couples with young kids, married couples with high school kids, married couples, empty nesters. You could have like 40s, 50s, singles adults. You could even have women's groups only, women only, men's groups only, men only. Some people really want to be in those type of groups. So try to have as many life stages as possible. And of course, people, when they sign up, they're going to sign up for which table they want to be at. So promote this. This is something, again, I made this video before Easter. So this is something huge that you want to push at your Easter service. Tell them like, hey guys, in about 2 weeks, we're going to have like a small group lunch. This is one of the best ways to get to know people in the church. This is one of the best ways for you to kind of get more comfortable and situated in this church. We're going to do it in 2 weeks. Promote it, market it, because Easter time is one of the best times to grow your small group ministry. Use some of those ideas. Again, the side door is one of the best ways to get people to the front door. I hope your small groups grow. I hope they get healthy and strong. Watch some of these other videos as we develop a small group strategy. I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, I launched a new series on small groups, but I also talked about how to prepare your church for Easter services and really focusing on new visitors. So if you missed those videos, check out these videos here, how to really help your church be prepared for visitors and for visitors to come back to your church.